Hello Fit friends, and welcome to my channel. I'm Holly of renewalfitcoach.com, and in this video I'm going to give you my review of two online wine companies that do single serve bottles of wine. Now normally I would not be talking about alcohol on a health and fitness channel. However, I know that a lot of people, especially around the holidays, love to enjoy a good glass of wine or alcohol from time to time. And so if you're going to do that, then I would like to recommend some that will help you, one, stay portion controlled, and two, be a little bit healthier option for you. So the two wines are Usual Wines and Wander and Ivy. So these are both two fairly newer wine companies, and what I love about them is that they give you these single serve bottles. So they're about 6.5 ounces for those days when you feel like a glass of wine, but you don't want to overdo it, or you don't want to waste a whole bottle when all you really want is a glass. So these are perfect because it helps you to stay portion controlled with your wine rather than go overboard because you already have a bottle open. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the similarities, some of the differences, and then what I like and dislike about each one. So let's start with Wander and Ivy. So this is one that I saw on Instagram one day and just thought the bottle was so cute. Love the design, love the skinny glass, just captured right away by the whole look and marketing and vibe of this. And it intrigued me to want to try. So what I found out about these wines is they are made all from organic grapes and from small family-owned vineyards all across the world. So you're gonna get a variety of where these come from, but they all are organic. So what that means is when something is made with organic grapes, it means that the grapes basically are not sprayed with pesticides and some of these horrible chemicals that can really take a toll on your body and create things like cancer, for instance. What it doesn't mean is that in the process of making the grapes, that there aren't chemicals. So the grapes are organic, but the wine itself is not necessarily fully organic, because a lot of times what happens in the processing of the wine is that sulfites, which are a chemical, are added, which can be harmful to your health. Sugars can be added, different things can happen in the processing that kind of bring that healthy quality down just a little bit. So just to be clear, these ones specifically are made from organic grapes from all across the world. So since what got me into it is kind of my first impression, I'm going to talk first impressions in terms of their website. Website is very easy to navigate. It's very cute. It's all the same style as the bottles and logo and design. Something else to note is that when you immediately go onto the website, it will give you an option to get a 15% off code off of your first order, which is really nice. And they offer a very limited amounts of wine, so it's pretty easy to kind of pick and choose the varietals and the options that you want. So the website currently says that they offer a Sauvignon Blanc, a Chardonnay, a Rosé, a red blend, a Pinot Noir, and a Cabernet Sauvignon. So I ordered the Chardonnay and the Cabernet Sauvignon. I'm not a huge rosé person unless it's the summer, so I just stuck to the basics, and they weren't necessarily offering all of the varietals at the time that I ordered. And if you order a 24 bottle case, then you get free shipping. So let's talk about the most important part, and that is how they taste. The Cabernet I actually did really like. I had low expectations for this bottle, to be honest, because most affordable red wines are not that great. And then when you get into the single serve variety, they're like really not great. There's very few that are actually good. And I thought this was a pretty good one. For a single serve wine, they label it as having cherry and spice with notes of toasted oak and vanilla and a good overall structure. So it's very drinkable, I think, like a good, if you just want a glass during the weekday or something, this is definitely a good one. When I first poured it, I didn't get a whole lot of flavor. It kind of felt like your average single serve wine to me. After I let it sit and breathe for a little bit longer, then I started to get a little bit more flavor, a little bit more spice, more body and complexity to it. And by the end of the glass, I was really enjoying it. It's not a big, bold, memorable wine necessarily, which I love. I love kind of the big, spicy, bold wines. So it's not quite that, but it's definitely better than a lot of store-bought, cheaper brands. So I actually was very pleasantly surprised by the taste of this one. I thought it was really nice, probably better than I expected. So then let's talk about the Chardonnay. So this one was how I actually was introduced to Wander and Ivy. I saw someone on Instagram pouring herself a glass saying it was her favorite. And unfortunately, I was disappointed with this one. It was not what I hoped or expected. They explain it as having pear and apricot with hints of nuts and vanilla, with a rich, slightly buttery palate and the perfect amount of toast. I maybe got kind of the pear and apricot from this, but otherwise it had more of like metallic or dirt taste at the end. Very little body or complexity or flavor to me. I'm not super picky when it comes to white wines. I like the majority of them I've tried. I'm fine with cheaper white wines, not a big deal. But this one, I would not order again. I just didn't enjoy it. I tried it several times hoping I would like it. I really wanted to like it. It's such a great brand. It's a Denver-based company. That's where I'm from. I just want to love all of their wines, but this one did not do it for me. Okay, so let's move on to Usual Wines. So Usual Wines is something that, again, I saw on social media, on Instagram. I think it was an ad with these really cute, like almost chemistry-inspired bottles, kind of the beaker look. Again, single serve, pretty much the same size. It's right about 6.5 ounces, so kind of a large 1 glass serving. So went to their website to check it out. For this website on the Usual Wines, I do not like their website. It's not as attractive to me. It's much harder to navigate. It's just kind of weird where the buttons are and trying to find information. I don't like the site, but overall, ordering and all of that stuff was just as easy as Wander and Ivy. Not a big deal, but just kind of a strange website. But ultimately, it's the wine that matters, right? So it also comes in very cute packaging. They both have cute boxes. And I like that both of these boxes are very small, so it didn't come in anything huge or take up a lot of room, really nice and easy to store. And what I liked about this wine, why I decided to order it as well, was not only to try some different wines and see how they compared, but these wines are actually made from sustainably farmed grapes. I don't believe they say that they're organic grapes. However, the way that they're made is without any sulfites and without any sugar. So these are a lower sugar wine and ones that are made without sulfites, which is good. The sulfites, like I said, can be harmful to your health. They are a chemical that gets added. And so wines made without sulfites are gonna be a little bit better for you. And typically that is what creates that hangover headache feeling after you drink wine. So these types, you're probably gonna feel a little bit better after you drink them. So the usual offerings are they have a rosé, a red, and a brut. And then they also have a red reserve on their website available too at a higher price point. So I ordered the combo box. You can get a combo case or you can just pick one type of the wine to have ordered to you. They don't have quite as many options. Like at Wander and Ivy, you can get a red and a white, you can get all three, you can get just one. I believe at Usual, you can either get the combo or you just have to pick one or the other of the varietals, but I didn't see any that had like 2 of the types of wine in the case. So let's talk about flavors now. So the Brut, I saw some really good reviews on this one, and when I tried it, I agreed. I really like this one. The tasting notes are lemon, elderflower, and bergamot. Really nice taste, a little bit dry on the finish. I thought this was a really great one for kind of, a little celebratory drink or when you're just in the mood for something fizzy, more champagne-like. The rosé, I'm not a huge rosé person, like I said, so I'm not an expert on tasting this, but I thought these were really nice. I'm not super picky about rosé wines as well, kind of like whites, but I thought this was really nice, very pleasant, a good summer wine. The tasting notes are strawberry, rose petal, and rhubarb. So it's got that nice, light, refreshing sweetness to it. Good, very drinkable wine. So the red, this one, very similar to what I said about Wander and Ivy. When I first poured this one, it was just kind of like, okay, that's fine. As it breathed a little bit more and kind of opened up and I let it sit, then more of the flavor and complexity started to come out. I got a lot more spice on the finish, a little bit more body to it, and it started to taste much less like kind of your cheap wine from the grocery store, and a little bit more like a higher quality wine. So this actually pleasantly surprised me with how good it was. Again, for all these single serves, I just didn't necessarily have super high expectations, but this is actually much better than I expected. They explain the tasting notes as cocoa, dark cherry, and cassis. And I think that's a good explanation. It is kind of a darker, richer wine. It's not like a Pinot Noir. It's more like a Cab or maybe a Zin. So I really like this one, actually. I thought it was very comparable to some much more expensive, some nicer wines that I've gotten before, actually. Comparing these two, I'm not sure which I like better. I might say the usual red is a little bit better to me. Both have that kind of that spice and that little bit of kick at the end, but kind of mellow body throughout. And the overall price point on these, once I kind of broke it down with taxes and all that stuff, it was about $6 to $7 a bottle. So it is a little bit pricey, but not horrible compared to many other similar brands. So if I had to pick one of these, I would probably go with the usual wines. Because I actually liked all three wines, I would be more likely to buy more of this, although I would do another 8-pack or case even of the red. And I would definitely be willing to try the rosé, but I wouldn't do the Chardonnay again of the Wandering Ivy. But you can't really beat the cuteness of their packaging, I don't think. So that's pretty much it on these wines. I'm gonna wrap it up, but I hope this is helpful. These are a really great option for, again, when you just wanna keep that alcohol consumption under control, you just wanna have one glass. Also really cute for gifting, having out at holiday parties, things like that. And hopefully the reviews are helpful. I had a really hard time finding what people thought about these wines and if they were good or not. So check them out. Leave a comment down below if you have tried them before, or once you order them and try them, let me know what you think. I'd be curious to hear your opinions. Thanks so much for watching. If you would like more tips on healthy food and drink options, follow me at Renewal Fit Coach on Instagram, and check out my website at renewalfitcoach.com, where you'll find a blog with lots of tips, and you can contact me about custom online personal training programs and nutrition programs if you need a little help getting your health back on track and renewing your life. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with someone else who might be interested, and be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future videos.